In the scorching heat of the Mesopotamian summer, the city of Eridu thrived between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, its people living in harmony with the fertile land that had nourished them for generations. The air was heavy with the sweet scent of date palms, and the sound of laughter echoed through the streets as the inhabitants went about their daily lives, oblivious to the impending catastrophe. A subtle shift in the weather patterns marked the beginning of the end. The winds carried an unseasonable chill, and the skies darkened, as if the gods themselves were gathering to unleash their fury upon the city. The people of Eridu, accustomed to the unpredictable Mesopotamian climate, paid little heed to the ominous signs, continuing with their daily routines as the storm clouds gathered on the horizon. As the days passed, the skies grew darker, the winds stronger, and the rains heavier. The Tigris and Euphrates, those life-giving rivers that had sustained Eridu for centuries, began to swell, their waters churning and foaming with unprecedented ferocity. The people of Eridu, realizing too late the gravity of the situation, scrambled to prepare for the worst. But it was too late. The floodwaters, driven by the fury of the gods, burst their banks, inundating the city and sending its inhabitants fleeing for their lives. The streets of Eridu, once bustling with activity, were now a scene of utter chaos. The cries of the terrified, the wails of the bereaved, and the crash of collapsing buildings filled the air as the very fabric of the city was torn asunder. The once proud ziggurat, that towering monument to the gods, stood as a lonely sentinel, its steps submerged beneath the churning waters, a poignant reminder of the city's vulnerability. As the floodwaters continued to rise, the people of Eridu were forced to flee to the surrounding hills, where they huddled together in shock and awe, watching as their city was consumed by the raging torrent. The landscape, once a verdant oasis in the desert, was now a scene of utter devastation, as if the very hand of God had reached down to destroy the city. In the aftermath of the flood, the people of Eridu emerged from their hilltop refuge, blinking in the bright sunlight to survey the devastation that lay before them. The city, once the jewel of Mesopotamia, was now a scene of utter desolation, its buildings reduced to rubble, its fields laid waste, and its people left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. The flood had left an indelible mark, not just on the city, but on the psyche of its people, who would never forget the terror of that fateful day. As the people of Eridu set about the task of rebuilding their city, they did so with a newfound sense of reverence for the power of the gods and a deep appreciation for the fragility of human existence. The flood had been a catastrophic event, one that had shaken the very foundations of their civilization, but it had also been a catalyst for change, driving the people of Eridu to create a new and more resilient society, one that would go on to shape the course of Mesopotamian history. In the scorching heart of southern Mesopotamia, where the Tigris River lazily wound its way through the fertile plains, the ancient city of Eridu stood as a beacon of prosperity and innovation around 2900 BCE. Nestled amidst the date palm groves and marshy wetlands, this thriving metropolis was the epicenter of trade and commerce, drawing merchants and travelers from far and wide. As the sun rose over the city, the air pulsed with the vibrant sounds of bustling markets, the aroma of exotic spices, and the chatter of people from diverse backgrounds. Eridu's strategic location made it an ideal hub for the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures. The city's cunning merchants had established a vast network of trade routes that spanned the ancient Near East, attracting caravans laden with precious commodities like copper, silver, and lapis lazuli from distant lands such as Anatolia, the Indus Valley, and Egypt. Meanwhile, ships from the Persian Gulf docked at Eridu's bustling harbor, unloading their cargo of aromatic woods, fine textiles, and other luxuries. The city's architecture was a testament to its wealth and sophistication. The majestic ziggurat, a stepped pyramid dedicated to the worship of Enki, the patron deity of Eridu, towered above the mud brick houses and temples. Its gleaming white limestone facade and intricate carvings dominated the city's skyline, symbolizing the power and prestige of Eridu's rulers. The city's streets, paved with baked bricks and lined with ornate fountains, were a marvel of urban planning, providing a comfortable and sanitary environment for its inhabitants. Eridu's marketplaces were a kaleidoscope of colors, sounds, and smells. Merchants hawked their wares from glittering jewelry to fine ceramics, while artisans plied their trades, crafting exquisite works of art and intricate metalwork. The famous House of the Golden Donkey Tavern was a legendary gathering place where travelers and locals alike shared stories, enjoyed sweet beer, and indulged in the city's famous culinary delights such as roasted gazelle and date cakes. The Ensi Eridu's wise and just rulers governed the city with a firm but fair hand. They oversaw the construction of elaborate irrigation systems ensuring the fertility of the surrounding countryside and maintained a powerful army protecting the city from neighboring threats. The Ensi were also patrons of the arts, commissioning magnificent works of literature, music, and art that celebrated the city's rich cultural heritage. As the seasons passed, Eridu continued to flourish, its people living in harmony with the land and their neighbors. However, beneath the surface of this thriving metropolis, the seeds of disaster were being sown. The city's very success had set in motion a chain of events that would soon unleash a catastrophe of biblical proportions, the Eridu Flood, which would change the course of Mesopotamian history forever. In the heart of ancient Sumer, where the Tigris River pulsed with life, the city of Eridu emerged from the fertile plains like a shimmering mirage. Founded by the legendary King Alulim, this sacred metropolis was celebrated for its breathtaking architecture, a testament to the ingenuity and craftsmanship of the Sumerians. Among its many wonders, the majestic temple of Enki stood tall, a beacon of reverence and awe, dedicated to the revered god of wisdom, freshwater, and the arts. As visitors approached the temple, the air was filled with the sweet scent of date palms and the gentle chirping of birds, creating an atmosphere of serenity and contemplation. The temple's imposing ziggurat, a stepped pyramid of sun-baked bricks, rose from the earth like a giant's fist, its terraced levels ascending towards the heavens like a stairway